Dude. Check out this shiny I just got. Oh, and this. Stop. Guys, I feel like the flex culture of Pokemon Go has gotten pretty toxic. And it's not all bad, right? Like, the whole reason we play Pokemon Go is to be there and to catch the shinies and then to go show them to people. It's a collection. It's literally the whole point of Pokemon Go. But I also think that there comes with a lot of negatives. Not only are you re-driving FOMO into other players by engaging in flex culture, but you're also just kind of like, I don't want to say make people feel bad, but sometimes make people feel bad for not having what you want or not even having the means to get what you want. So today we're going to talk all about that. We're going to explain what flex culture is, because I don't even know if it's a real thing. I feel like it's like partly just made up, and I just made it up here on the spot. But we're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about the culture, the history of shiny Pokemon and Pokemon Go, and is it actually all that bad? Is there some positives to flex culture? And maybe it's not all that toxic. So welcome back to another YAP session. If you don't know this series here on the channel, this is a series here where it gets really, really windy. I don't know why it's like insanely windy today. I don't know if do you hear that? Or is my mic just so good it blocks the wind? It's really windy today. It's really cold too, but we're repping the New Zealand sweater. And yeah, it's a YAP session. So we pretty much just yap about a certain topic. Obviously, you know what the topic is today. So grab your popcorn, sit back, throw this on the TV. A lot of people like to watch on the TV. So if you're a TV watcher, let me know in the comment section below. I'm also, by the way, fit check for the day. Today we have the New Zealand sweater. Haven't busted. I look like full hippie today. I also have the hippie bag. And I'm wearing shorts. Dude, one thing I will tell you, why did I say dude? One thing I'll say is I've always been a shorts wearer. Even in the winter, like if it's like, for all you Americans, I don't know if this is in Fahrenheit, but like in the negatives, I've worn shorts to school. And it hasn't been that bad. So I don't know, I don't know, maybe it's just my legs never get cold, and maybe it's because I just have like some astronomically hairy legs, but yeah, so I'm just wearing shorts with a sweater, but I'm all right in terms of warmth. It'll be fine though, because we're gonna get into a hot topic. See what I did there? It's gonna heat me up. It might get me heated actually. I'm not 100% sure. I have some interesting thoughts on this. Anyway, click here if you want to get to the actual meat and potatoes of the video. If not, update on me. How am I doing? Honestly, there's not much to update you on. Pokédaxi is doing well. In terms of exciting things that are happening, I'm going to Scotland next week to visit a friend. So if you're in Scotland, in Edinburgh, stay tuned. I will be there for a single day. And then I'll be in the north of Scotland, in the Highlands. So stay tuned for some fun content in Scotland. Not sure what I'm going to record there yet, but we will be down in the Scottish country. That's not a Scottish accent at all. So that's like really the only update I have for you guys. Other than that, the merch dropped this week. So remember, if you haven't grabbed your merch, grab it, Pokédaxi.com, and get it, because it's only 2 weeks pre-order. Worked really hard on the designs. Really, really love the quality of the shirts I picked too. Overall, just hyped for that. So grab your merch and tag me at Pokédaxi. Okay, I'm going to stop yapping about myself because I feel like I do it for too long. And we're going to get into what we're talking about today, which is the toxic side of Pokemon Go flex culture. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't echo too bad. But speaking of shiny flex culture, I actually just got this poniard from a lucky trade. I just did a lucky trade before this. I don't know why. I end up always doing a lucky trade before recording the YAP sessions. But let's talk about flex culture and where it all started. So shiny, this is one thing I'm going to say about shiny Pokemon. I hate them. No, I actually do love them. I'm just fixing my camera. They used to be rare. And honestly, there's a lot of shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go right now. You think of things like Larvesta. You think of things like Larvesta, because that shiny is insanely rare. You think of things like, I don't know, Galarian Corsola. What's a rare shiny? Galarian Birds. Why is it all Galarians? There's obviously all sorts of rare shinies in Pokemon Go, but as time goes on, they get less and less rare. But I don't think this is how it used to be. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't play when shinies first got released, but when shiny Magikarp got released, which was the first shiny that ever come to Pokemon Go, it wasn't that easy to get it. And in those first couple years of catching shiny Pokemon, they weren't that easy to get. When were community days dropped, actually? Quick research. The first Pokemon Go community day was in 2018 of January. So Shinies got dropped, I believe it was summer of 2017. For the first 6 months, 7 months, we didn't have a single community day. And I don't know what shinies came out after Magikarp, but shinies slowly started to be released. And they were rare because the thing is, there wasn't all sorts of events that could just desaturate the shiny pool, in which there's just so many events. Like, how's the best way to say this? When there are so many events in Pokemon Go, community days, raid hours, raid days, hatch days, blah, blah days, whatever days they want, there's just so many opportunities to get so many shinies so easily that your account just gets flooded with them. And it's the whole concept of when you have a lot of something, it's not rare. Think about, like, I don't know, bread. It's like the most common food, I think it is, or like the most like well-known foods around the world. Like every culture has their own version of bread. But then, if you look at something a little bit harder in terms of food to get, I don't know, caviar, that's why it's so much more expensive. That's why it's so much more valuable. It's because it's the law. There's a name for this law. I don't know the name, though. So I think the issue is that over time, so many events started to be released that shinies became, like, everybody has shinies, and especially community days, I think, were the hardest or the biggest drop-off for the value of some shiny Pokemon. And this is all going to make sense why I'm explaining this right now, the evolution of shiny Pokemon. But, like, over time, the evolution of shinies were that everything becomes not rare. You think of something like shiny Larvesta right now, it's not going to be rare forever because it's going to get a calm day. Think about things like shiny Gibble. I remember, I actually have a Gibble in my account. Let me see if I can show you guys. There's a Gibble in my account that is named, this one, $150 Gibble. And that's because I spent $150. I think I counted it, $150 on remote raid passes to catch this shiny Gibble from a raid. Was it a regret? I don't really know if I regret it because it was still pretty cool to have it early. But then Gibble got a calm day, and now I have a bunch of Gibbles and like a bunch of Garchomp shinies, and like it's just I just have too many. Like I don't actually really care. Like this Gibble does have value to me because I work so hard on it, but like at the end of the day, if I transferred it, it's not like I can be like, oh, I don't have any more shiny Gibble. So it's really not. They've really dropped the rarity, and shinies over time kind of just became, you know, I don't want to say mundane, but some shinies just became like I don't know. Think of any Calm Day shiny. If somebody flexes me a Calm Day or a Gibble shiny, I'm like, that's not rare. That's not cool. You know what I mean? But that's just from my perspective. But this is where the issue comes in, and that's that not everybody knows that. Okay, so you look at some people's accounts, like, I don't know, Fleece King. Should we start bullying Fleece King? He has, bro, I don't even know. He probably maybe 5,000 of his Pokemon in his account are shiny, maybe even more. So when you look at an account with that many shinies, you're going to think, and especially if you don't understand the concept of community days, raid days, and just the value, like it's almost like there should be a chart of what shinies are the most valuable. The value chart of shinies. You're able to not like get down on yourself, but you look at Fleece King as a status symbol. You look at him as, oh, this is a top player because he has so many shinies in his account. He has, even if all 5,000 of them were the same shiny, you're gonna, like, new players or even some of you guys might look at that account, look at my account and be like, oh my God, there's so many shinies in that account. But really, are they that rare? Were they that hard to get? And the short answer is yes, it takes a lot of time, but the vast majority of shinies in people's accounts nowadays are throwaway, duplicate, Calm Day, Raid Day, whatever extra shinies. And maybe at most 5% of all those shinies are actually the rare ones, the ones that people really want. So shinies used to be rare. Now I still say they're rare, but I think that shiny inflation, I guess, has hit. But I do think what's happened here with everything that I'm talking about here is that players' accounts have almost been inflated, where the best way to put this is like, I don't want to say you have like a fake account, but it's like if you're like flexing it's like if you're flexing, I don't know, let's say like you got, okay, this is the most random thing. You got a Toyota. Okay, let's just say this. No, somebody knows nothing about cars, okay? The only thing they know about cars is that if you have this certain type of car, let's say a Lamborghini, it's a nice car. So let's say I get my Toyota and I rip off the Toyota logo. I think that's illegal actually to do, but let's say I rip off the Toyota logo, I slap on the Lambo logo, and then I go to my friend, I'm like, yo, check out my Lamborghini. I'm duping that guy. You know what I mean? When the second he looks under the hood, he's like, what is in the V12? I don't know what Toyotas have. V12, is that a pretty good engine? You know what I mean? And he's like, this is fake. It's the same thing with a shiny account. If I go and I'm like, look at my 5,000 shinies. Look, I search shiny in my account, it shows 5,000. Someone's like, oh my God, that's so sick. But then really they don't know that 4,000 of those were shinies that I caught with a 1 in 10 shiny rate. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't know why I say you know what I mean, because it's not like you guys can answer, but over time, I believe that, I don't even know the word for this, but I feel like you could almost fool people now with the number of shinies in your account, when really shiny rarity is not about the numbers. It's about that specific Pokemon. You know what I mean? Why do I just naturally say that? Okay, let's move location. Let me keep talking about this. Okay, now, I do have to take the blame for some of this. Hopefully you guys can see me and this is good. By the way, I remember I don't know if it was this exact spot, but I battled Dan Ottawa at the park one time in one of these spots. Go check out that video if you haven't seen it. I think it was called like Random Team, or we chose caught each other's teams and then we battled video, where we caught each other's Pokemon PvP teams and then we battled each other. Anyway, point is, I do want to take blame, and I think all creators should almost take blame. And I guess like you could almost say like it's a situation of the leaders need to take the blame here, of the rise of shiny flex culture. Okay, so shiny flexing has always been a thing, I think, in the Pokemon series as a whole. Like, let's say go back to Gen 1 Pokemon Yellow, and somebody gets a shiny. I'm too young to know. I think Pokemon Yellow was black and white, so you actually couldn't even visually see if it was a shiny. I don't know, let's say okay, more my generation. My first game was Pokemon Pearl. Let's say you played Pokemon Pearl, you hatched yourself a shiny. And by the way, getting shinies in the main series Pokemon games is way, way harder. It's like a 1 in 4,000 base shiny odds. And then it gets higher as time goes on, but 1 in 4,000 base. I'm cold right here. Anyway, shiny flex culture has always been a thing, but I believe with Pokemon Go, it's like, honestly, not only is it way, way easier to shiny flex, but it's just like, honestly, I think it's just the simplicity of it. I guess this is it. It's not that shiny flexing is only easier, and that's why people do it more, but it's actually way easier to get a shiny in Pokemon Go. And that's why you see so much, and you see this culture of flexing. And there's a whole different world of flexing in person, but online you see this whole, if you go on Twitter and search Pokemon Go, vast majority of those tweets are just gonna be people being like, look at all the shinies I caught today. What a great haul I got today. Look at this Shundo I caught today. People want to show off through screenshots, reels, TikToks, whatever. And creators and influencers, I believe have unintentionally created this culture, because I don't want to say this is how online culture works, but I feel like this is how it works, but like whatever the creator in the space is doing is what becomes cool. You know what I mean? And so let's say, I don't know, I'm trying to give an example from let's go back to cars, okay? Let's say, I don't know why I'm all into cars today. I don't even know anything about cars, except I do need to get my brakes changed on my car. That's what I do know. Let's say there's a car YouTuber who's like, okay, this car is cool. Then, and you know, this is not always gonna happen. Not everyone's gonna agree with this, but people will be like, oh, okay, this car is pretty cool. Let me check it out. Or let's say this car YouTuber is like, okay, this is the best way to change your oil. Follow this strategy. Then everyone's gonna be like, oh, this is the best way to change your oil. It's the same thing here. If I tell you guys a tip, and again, you don't have to listen to what I'm saying, but if I'm like, use spatial ren during an event, and obviously some of this stuff is, I don't want to say common sense, but it makes sense. Like, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh yeah, use spatial ren during the event. So then when you go and you take it over to shinies, if one YouTuber is like, this shiny is really rare, or if one YouTuber is like, this shiny is really ugly, it's gonna create, I don't even want to say a pressure, but just a general knowledge of that information being out there. And like, because the thing is, at the end of the day, there's zero standards in this stuff. Like, how do you say that this shiny is rarer than this shiny? So the creators, or honestly, I don't even want to say the creators, just online people. People online almost create this database of which shiny is the rarest in order. And I don't think this is intentionally created. But, you know, if Mystic 7 drops a video and is like, oh, I hatched 100 eggs for the rarest shiny in Pokemon Go. By the way, Mystic 7, bro's always saying it's the rarest. Let me just say that. He's always saying it's the rarest. You know, honestly, I'm guilty of it too. Part of it is just, I think the reason YouTubers use the rarest shiny or this rare shiny is because it's honestly just, not only is it YouTube meta, it's also just, what is it called? Psychology. You know, you have to put value on something. So when there's things that are just completely unvaluable, because it's a shiny, it's like it has no value, and then these people are creating a value on it, saying this is a rare thing, then there's going to be this shiny flex culture that's created in which people are like, this is a rare thing because this person says it's a rare thing and online says it's a rare thing, and there's this whole discussion saying that shiny Larvesta is rare. I started the video by saying shiny Larvesta is rare, and you might in your head now be like, oh, that is a rare shiny. I have that shiny. This person said it was a rare shiny, because it's creating a baseline in your head of what is rare and what isn't, especially when you're coming in with nothing. When I first came into this game, Gibble, for example, I was watching Billy's videos, and Billy, I think I watched one of his videos, and he was like, save your rares to evolve. Maybe you've seen the video. Save these rares to evolve later for Calm Day, whatever. And I remember Gibble being mentioned in one of them, and indirectly, it created this idea in my head that Gibble is rare, and therefore shiny Gibble is a rare shiny. So there's just been this rise in flex culture, because not only is it easy to get shinies, easy to share them, but also there's a clear like game plan of what is a rare shiny in Pokemon Go. Also, sometimes I believe that unrealistic expectations has been set through YouTube content creation. I keep going to YouTube because that's my main platform, but you can also say Twitch, TikTok, whatever. You can even say online social media. For example, let's say I'm playing Pokemon Go and, this is recording. Let's say I'm playing Pokemon Go and I make a vlog about Go Fest, you know, and I see these comments all the time. People are like, how is he getting so many shinies? You know what I mean? And it's because content creation, and honestly just online as a whole, doesn't give a full picture of what it takes to get a rare shiny, or what it takes to get what you got. So like, if you watch my vlog, you're gonna see, you know, 20, 25 shiny checks during Go Fest, or shiny encounters during Go Fest. But you're gonna see that in 25 minutes. So you're gonna think you can go out in 25 minutes and catch 25 shinies, some of them being rare, some of them not. And obviously Go Fest creates a different picture, but even if it's just like a spotlight hour, if I post a TikTok of my spotlight hour, I'm gonna probably post it of the shiny I got, or the highlight reel, the highlight moment. And this is just an overall issue in the internet. You know, people like who create lifestyle videos, and they go out and they're getting shots of them walking the street in this really fancy schmancy outfit, kind of like what I have on. Just kidding. This is a bum outfit, I feel like, right now, but they're, you know, and then you watch that reel and you're like, oh my God, like how do they just look so perfect, so effortlessly? But you don't see them spending the 3 hours in their house perfectly picking out the outfit, ironing their clothes, you know, waxing their shoes, whatever they do. Like, do people wax their shoes still? Is that a thing? So it's just this unrealistic expectation created of, oh, this is the rarest shiny ever, and this is what I'm going to do to get it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's just like, this culture has been created, and I think those are the main reasons why this culture has been created. But to be honest, it's not all bad. Some of it is bad, some of it is not all that bad. Yeah. Anyway, let me talk now about the bad first. Let's get into the bad, the toxic side. But also I'm cold, so I'm gonna go find a different spot that's a bit more shaded. Is my head cut off? I hope not. I'm gonna do some yoga. No, I'm kidding. I do want to mention quickly, we are going back to Japan. This is, look how weird of a pose this is. We're going back to Japan. Pokédaxi group trip version 2 is officially out. You guys can hit the link below if you want to join. Book your spots before it sells out. It is selling really, really quick, and I don't want you to miss this opportunity. I know I've talked about the Japan trip in the past YAP sessions if you used to watch them. And yeah, a bunch of people joined them. Joined the trip. We just got back at the end of March. And the trip was honestly, I can't really express how fun the trip was. The best way to explain it is it's just 25 Pokemon Go players playing Pokemon Go in the best place in the world to play Pokemon Go. So if that sounds like something you'd be excited for, hit the link below and DM me at Pokedaxi on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Why is there a helicopter right over there? DM me if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. I guess the best way to explain it is that we're going to be in Osaka and Kyoto for 7 days, exploring the Torii Gates, eating local food, playing Pokemon Go, doing Raid Hour, Spotlight Hour together, and just having a blast in Japan. So again, that's it. Let's keep with the YAP session, and hopefully see you in Japan. By the way, hopefully all this is making sense. I don't want to say I feel a little off today, but I feel a little rambly today, and can't really keep a point. So hopefully it's making sense if you guys are enjoying it. This is just, I guess, the version of Dax you're getting today. Okay. So why is this a bad thing? Why do I use the word toxic when I mention the toxic flex culture? Oh my God, is that the Canadian Tire Center over there? I did not know that. And the reason is because I think that with all these things combined, shinies being easy to get, flexed, there's almost now this baseline of if you don't get this, it wasn't a good day. You know what I mean? So to start, I think there's a decent amount of shiny shaming online. And I don't want to say shiny shaming in the fact of like, I'm not going to go out and comment on people's posts and be like, wow, you only got 3 shinies? Wow, you only got 4 shinies? Oh, what are the IVs? If it's not a Shundo, I don't care. But I think a lot of people, it's so windy right here. I feel like I just moved to a windier spot than where I was. Anyway, you do it to yourself. I do it to myself. You see it in my videos in which I'm just like, oh, how are the IVs? Oh, they're terrible. Oh, I just played Calm Day, but I only got 5 shinies. Or I just played this event and I only got 3 shinies. Or, I didn't get the Shundo during this event. This kind of talk, this kind of mentality, although there might be some of it that is outwardly directed, I feel like a lot of people have collected, and maybe this is my fault, maybe this is a lot of the content creators' fault again, but like this type of talk has been collected in which there's no appreciation for what has been gotten. And at the same time, maybe we could blame Sculpey in which they're making shinies too easy to get, but it shouldn't be, I only got 5 shinies during Calm Day. It should be, I got 5 shinies during Calm Day. And it all makes me think to something I told my editor once, which I think is, I call it the bar, which, well, like, I don't call it. It's just called the bar. But let's say you're a grinder who plays Pokemon Go hard and you get into Pokemon Go, and everybody knows when you first get into Pokemon Go is the most exciting time for it. Everything is new, everything is a dex entry, everything is exciting. And as you play more and more, you grind, and your grind increases. And I feel like I'm almost explaining the life cycle of every Pokemon Go player. Your grind increases, you're learning things, you're watching tips videos, you're learning how to best optimize. And you get at some point to this peak where you're doing everything perfectly. Now, this is your bar. This is where you sustain playing Pokemon Go, and you're able to sustain it for a while playing at your bar level. And then over time, whether that's because Sculpey or Niantic drop bad events, or you just play it too much, you start to fall off of the bar. You're not able to maintain the level of grind. You're not able to go out, play 3 hours of Calm Day nonstop, and it just fly by because it's so fun. After an hour of Calm Day, you're like, this kind of is mid. I'm already level 50. I already have Shiny Vanillite, blah, blah, blah. Not a jab at Shiny Vanillite, but I do already have it, so I probably won't be playing the Calm Day this weekend. Anyway, it starts to go down. You start to go down from this bar, and you're not able to maintain this high level of play anymore. But your mind is already created in which you know what you're capable of. You know what grind you're capable of. You know you're able to go play a Calm Day, grind it for 3 hours, and leave with 50 shinies. You know you're able to play a raid day and do 100 raids in the 3 hours. You know you're able to hatch 100 eggs in a day. Like, you know what you've done in the past. So now anything less than that is just not enough, And you can honestly tie this into therapy. Like, people who, exercise, and when you're young and you're fit, you create this idea in your head of this is what I'm capable of. But as you get older and just naturally, your body is just not to that level anymore, or you just don't have the same amount of time you did as a free kid to train, you fall off, and it becomes a very depressing thing. Like, I'm speaking like I know it, but I kind of know it in the terms of different things I've done in my life that I'm just not as good at anymore. And you start to, I guess, lose appreciation, and you start to lose the answer, or you start to have to ask yourself the answer of what is enough. And this is a question my therapist asks me all the time, but what is enough? You know, is 1 hour of calm day enough? You know, is 2 hours of calm day enough? Is playing this event and only getting 3 shinies, is that enough? So that's the question that you end up asking yourself. And honestly, the question you honestly should be asking yourself in the sense of Pokemon Go is more like, am I having fun? You know, and that's really the end question. Like, it doesn't really, the bar is set, and when you start to fall off the bar, or sorry, my brain just imploded on itself. You follow the bar because you're having fun. And the reason you're able to sustain this grind up here, when you're up here, is because it's so fun. And when you start to fall off, you start to miss, you start to have a disconnect between the fun you're having, and that's why you start to play less, because you're having less fun, and the bar, which is the level you're able to do. And there's a disconnect there. So that's just a random side rant, but just if you feel like what I just said resonates with you, ask yourself that question. Anyway, let's get back to the toxic side of it. People only value Pokemon Go for shinies. I think there's a huge collection of people who, this game has become a collection-based game. It is a collection-based game, but people are like literally the girl I just traded with, Sarah, earlier, she came to me, we traded, and she's like, dude, like, I don't even play these events anymore. I don't care about Gigantamax. The only thing I care about is just collecting shinies, because that's what I love about shinies. So it's created this like environment where shinies is the only valuable thing. Hundos are valuable as well, but if you ask somebody, like, if you're gonna go and ask somebody a question about how their event is, the question you usually go with is, how many shinies did you get? You know what I mean? So creates this culture and this idea of, if it's not shiny, I don't want it. I've said it in my videos before. I don't know why I should stop. I should change my language, but I've said those words before, that if it's not shiny, I don't want it. Because, again, it goes back to the bar. The bar is shinies. The bar is, if you don't get the shiny, you didn't have a good time. When the bar should really be, did you have fun? You know what I mean? So I think shiny flexing has created this bad culture because people are saying, are flexing and being like, look, I had this shiny. And people are thinking, oh, that means this guy won and this guy's having fun. When really, winning is having a good time. Winning is going to play Pokemon Go with your friends, having a laugh, going to get some food after, enjoying some quality time together. That is what Pokemon Go is truly, I believe, actually all about. And I think I do feel like almost like a Niantic preacher right now, because that's what they really force. But I think, and what I've seen from all the friends I talk to is that as time goes on and people play Pokemon Go more and more, they have their evolution of, you know, everything is exciting. They hit their bar, their highest level of gameplay, and then they start to fall off because they lose interest. But then as they lose interest, people start to realize that the reason the bar was so high and they're having so much fun is because of the exercise they were getting, the people they were seeing, the social experiences they were having. My friends now who don't even play Pokemon Go will come to events because they want to see the people. They want to hang out with the people, the friends they've made. And I believe, maybe not, you know, at the end of the day, Pokemon Go still does have other benefits and perks, but I do believe that is a huge part of Pokemon Go, and I believe that is the bar. That is the bar we should all be striving for. It shouldn't be, how many shinies did you get, blah, blah, blah. Now, I do want to quickly talk on the topic of in-person shiny flexing. Be wary. I think people should be wary when they do it, because, well, you know what? This is an interesting point. This is an interesting point that gets into this whole thing of, like, should you be able to do what you want and not worry about how people would feel about it? Or should you be wary for people's feelings? You know what I mean? So, like, this is what I mean. Like, let's say there's, like, a shiny somebody. I think it depends on if you're friends or not. This is how I see it. But, like, there's a shiny that somebody really wants, and you get it, and then just, like, flaunting it in their face completely kind of a rude thing to do. But if you guys are good buddies and you're just teasing, I think it's fine. I just think that, like, you know, I don't actually want to speak on this topic because I don't know what it's like as a new trainer and to not have that many shinies. But I guess this is a perfect chance to pass it off to you guys. As a new trainer, if you're a newer player, when somebody comes and is like, oh, I got 15 shinies, or I got this really rare shiny, and they're showing it off to the group, blah, 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 and they're like, oh my God, I just got another shiny. Like, how does it make you feel? I guess that's the question. How does it make you feel? Because I do think that it can, in-person shiny flexing and showing off your shinies and what you got to people could be a good thing. But I think it can also be done in a bad way, in a way that makes people feel bad, and we don't want to do that. So yeah, I guess it gets really in depth. That whole thing kind of gets really in depth. So I can't really go too much into that, but I do believe the online shiny flexing is something that's just completely taken over, in my opinion. And shiny shaman is the rarest in the game. No, shiny shaming other people online, we need to stop it. We need to be happy for other people's shinies, but also just more, I think, just realize what is truly the value of this game. Is it catching shinies, or is it spending meaningful time with friends? You know what I mean? I don't know why I keep saying that, but that's what I think. I think this, imagine Pokemon Go, and I think I see it more and more, but imagine you search Pokemon Go, and instead of just seeing people flexing their shinies in a thread, it's people flexing selfies with groups of people just having a fun time, or flexing funny videos of them while they're having a good time, and I don't know, somebody, I don't know, does something funny. Anyway, I think that's where we should go towards, and that should be the new bar. Is it fun or is it not? It's not about how many shinies you get. It's about if it's fun or not. So I guess, like, that leads me to, like, pass it off to you guys to ask yourself the question, like, what do shinies mean to you? And are they really that important to you? Is that really the goal? Is that really the goal of Pokemon Go? So, you know. And also, don't fall for it as well. I'm going to say it right now. Don't fall for somebody coming to you and be like, I got 15 shinies during a day, and that means they had more fun than you, or that means that those shinies are even rare. Because you got to remember, like, someone getting 15 shinies on a calm day, that's possible in 30 minutes, you know, with the way the odds are. So overall, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I think I would just love to see more people valuing having fun over catching shiny Pokemon. There's a dog right there that is so fluffy. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say. That's kind of all I got to say about this topic. Hopefully this I don't know, this has almost felt like a rant a little bit, but hopefully you guys don't fall for the toxic side of shiny flexing. And remember, Pokemon Go is about having fun. It's not about how many shinies you get. It's not, and don't let anybody tell you that just because you got 3 shinies on a calm day means that you're not having fun or that you're not playing Pokemon Go correctly. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Watch the other 2 videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one. We'll be back next Friday with another YAP session. Remember, YAP sessions every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, we'll catch you all in the next one. Follow for tips, everybody.